Yeah, I do.
Call planning zone commission
That way we
into
got
order.
Commissioner Jones, if you'll take one, pass those around for me.
Pass around the minutes, everybody take a minute to look at that.
Somebody's got one of these $5 staples.
Oh, Mike Jennings making all the money working for the county.
Oh,
That's right.
that's
Got that
high
$5 stapler.
That- Mr.
Judge
My
a man by
administrative assistant knows how to make wise purchases.
We obviously have a quorum. Everybody hold it down. Let's get this thing over with here. We have a quorum. Look your minutes over, see if anything needs to be changed, amended in the minutes.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion to approve, got a second, any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Is any public comment from anybody on what's on our agenda tonight? I don't see any public here to comment, so with that said, Tom, you wanna
Yes.
fill us in? Well, let me say one more thing. Did you hear anything back from the Corps of Engineer people today?
I did not. I tried to call them and then I sent an email into them.
We've had two just for the committee's sake, we've had two teleconferences in here. The Corps of Engineer is the progress we're making on Spence Creek, development. And hopefully, right now, we're scheduled to do it on the 30th, and we want to try to schedule, if we can, at 6 o'clock in the evening at the 109 fire station. And William's gonna have tables, Lagardo Fire Station down on 109.
Not be confused with the city of Lebanon.
Thank you very much, appreciate that, Tom. And that'll allow people to come, they're looking for historical data, the Corps is, and they want people to come in and bring photographs. Well, here's my front porch, just 6 inches underwater, that type of thing, where they can get any kind of video, testimony, photographs or whatever for the Corps to create their baseline with. And of course, we've realized now that they're gonna add 2 million square feet of rooftops at 109 and 70, and then we got other buildings taking place down there. It's gonna aggravate the situation. And with that said, Tom, we'll look toward the 30, put out a notice if, when we have that meeting, for everybody to come that'd like to. So, Tom?
All right, so what you have before you is a map that it's my understanding Mount Juliet has now approved through their council as kind of hopefully a final disposition of the growth boundary map that's come out of the growth coordinating committee. And is now seeking approval of each of the legislative bodies. If all of the legislative bodies approve this, then we will reconvene the committee and we will refer the map and any agreements to the state of Tennessee for them to accept. And once it's accepted, it becomes official and can't be modified for 3 years.
Can we hold it up where we can see what each
Yes,
entity is
there's
gaining
really,
and
there's
losing?
really not a lot of change. There's really not a lot of changes. The biggest, probably the most significant change at this point is an expansion of the South Wilson Plain growth area to the, to expand it where it's not already at Murfreesboro Road, to the west side of Murfreesboro Road, to the south side of Central Pike, and coming around, still following the south side of Central Pike. It does go up the east side of Posey Hill Road to Blackbird Road and back down, all parcels up front on
Blackbird's not on Posey Hill, Tom.
off of Lee, well, yeah, off Lee, that's right, I apologize. Posey Hill's over here, so you're right, off Martha Lee, Blackbird Road, it comes up to Blackbird Road though as the northern boundary effectively. And then I believe takes in all parcels that front on Martha Lee south of Blackbird until we run into Lebanon's existing growth boundary.
Is that utility district you're talking of? What is that?
No, this is the South Wilson County Planned Growth Area. The light green has been in place since 2001.
But that's in the county, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
darker green, and largely I believe it originates from an economic development corridor that was in the 1990 comprehensive plan. And then A40 was built and Speedway was built, and the rest is history. Sewer line was extended. That's where you're getting a lot of the warehouse development stuff like that that's down there, as well as the Love's Truck Stop and some other things that label at Stewart's Ferry Pike interchange. This is a proposal to expand that, to kind of protect this area as county jurisdiction heretofore. Mount Juliet's ultimate proposal, while it initially went to the county line and pretty well up the Vendors Ferry Peninsula. They bumped that back to, they're taking in a section of core property that encompasses the remainder of the Cedar Creek Yacht Club. We could not show that on the map because it's core property. And then the remainder of it is in this blow up. There's several small parcels that back up to existing parcels that many times are under the same ownership and already in the city of Mount Juliet on South Mount Juliet Road. But you've got 3 or 4 parcels right behind those parcels that they're proposing to add.
So they didn't go that far south.
They did, and they completely withdrew from the south to their
Okay.
existing boundary.
So they corrected, basically, property line.
Well, no, but,
I mean-
they really didn't. They're adding a parcel because it's under joint ownership and somebody's trying to develop it and it's causing confusion.
I see.
So the parcel lines were already being followed, and their southern boundary, which had gone to the county line and across some distance to the east, is now back to their original boundary that was adopted in 2013.
What's the largest intake of acreage? Which direction? Vendors Ferry?
I've not calculated that yet, but really,
Not
very little. I mean,
very little.
it went from
It
being,
wasn't much,
it went from
Bobby.
being hundreds of acres to
Yeah.
less than 10 parcels.
They connected places.
We met a lot of times to do very little.
So at this point, probably,
It is.
and Watertown also withdrew their request for expansion.
So you're out.
Probably the largest expansion is of the Southwest
We
Plain Growth area.
we didn't expand it.
Would you wear that Watertown group down or something? Or they just-
Well,
No.
we had some folks come in, they objected to us taking the label in, so we.
I understand.
I wanted Tommy Jones to be one of my
I
constituents,
think
but I
by that last
You
meeting,
got my vote.
me and Julie wanted you to take, didn't they?
They tried.
I'm sorry.
That is, that's gonna be down here. Let's see, down here. Yeah, it's down in there. That's the back of the Libby Station. You may recall about
Seymour.
10 years ago, we annexed a portion of Metro Davidson County into Wilson County. And when we did it, the anticipation was that the city would then incorporate that into the city because it was completely surrounded by the city.
Yeah.
They never did. And so now we're adopting the back half of Hickory Ridge that was once in Davidson County,
Just
now
as
in
quick
Wilson
as it
County,
came
into Mount Juliet's growth boundary.
This
That's,
is still can.
that's still northwest Wilson Plain growth area, yes.
And that's that neighborhood that wants to come over the tracks.
Purple runs out of Grandview right there.
Yes, those are generally gonna be parcels that ownership, if I understand
That's
correctly.
Lineberry's land.
Yes, like Lineberry's land is right here, right here.
Yeah.
And, he's got a parcel that's in the
That's
county,
U-Haul
and they're
there.
trying to get an approval for a daycare, and their septic is in the county, and it's a mess.
The way I
So
understand
what
it,
it'll do
there's
is
some
allow them
gaps
to
in
annex it
there.
all.
All right, so what about from here back? What is that?
That's in here, that's in the
Okay.
Northwest
That's-
Plain
that's
Growth area.
county.
That's
Yes.
county. And that's a protected area under the Plain Growth corridor.
We don't have to worry about that.
No, not unless Mount Juliet ever comes, or anybody ever comes back and wants to negotiate. Now,
But they can come back and,
we got,
What
come back
en-
3 years though,
Yeah.
right?
what entity has approved this so far?
so far, to my knowledge, Mount Juliet has approved it. I had a discussion with the planner of Lebanon today and some constituents about a potential development, and they're fit to be tied because 2 of the parcel owners are in the Lebanon growth area and 1 is out, and they're back and forth about which way is best, but they are having their meeting this Thursday or next Thursday? Next Thursday. The city of Lebanon is, so they may stand to hear from a few members of the public yet, even though they really didn't modify anything about modifying it. If they modify it, if anybody modifies it, it has to go all the way back through the growth coordinator.
Well, just for reference, where is what they're wanting to modify, Tom?
I don't know that they'll want to modify it. It's
Where
down in
at?
it's down in the shorter road, Canesville area,
In other words, they would wanna expand.
Tater Peeler and shorter in Canesville area.
Okay.
They either want to extend it or reduce it one, but if they choose to come and speak at the meeting in Lebanon, doesn't necessarily have to
Abide by it.
abide by that, request.
Yeah.
But what if we don't want Mount Juliet on any side of this road
You've
right
already
here?
got the Northwest Wilson Plain growth area that's been in place since 2001, so I don't anticipate that changing. And that pretty well protects Mount Juliet from ever annexing into here.
I would like the fact that they're right here.
That was commercial, that's why they did it.
I can't help what's already been done.
Yeah,
Uh,
Other
Yeah.
discussion?
You can't
I
wait
don't-
till,
I-
you
I
can't
don't
wait
make
till
me-
the bottom of the ninth to
It
get in
don't
the
make
game,
me like
dude.
it, I'm just gonna tell you, no, I don't like it.
The other thing I need to advise y'all is this committee is, not to take anything away from this committee, but this is not a step in the state planning or state growth planning, law is taken through this committee. So really, I'm bringing this to y'all so that, and Mike was supposed to be here, he's left to back me up on this, but I'm bringing this to y'all so that at least a few commissioners will have knowledge of what this map represents. But the ultimate decision about whether or not to accept it or modify it or anything else
Across the hall.
rests with the county commission.
We could recommend it to the county commission.
Yes, you can do that.
Are-
It's just an
are
extra.
you
site.
I'm cautioning you against recommending some kind of modification, unless you're gonna take it up on the floor.
Are you gonna have that, where you put it up on the screen?
I'm gonna try to, yes, sir. When is that, Monday?
Wait for
21st?
21st,
Wait for Monday.
Week from now.
Hamlet breakfast.
Well, the other side of this coin, just remember, is once it's approved, they can't, nobody do anything for 3 years.
For 3 years.
So
Yeah.
it's
Once the
over for
state's
3 years.
accepted it.
Once state's accepted it, it's 3 years, can't do anything with it. So if you don't want Mount Juliet to grow at all, then 3 years, it can't. I know, I
Well, they
wasn't in
still got
favor.
growth area, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, they can't go to Glade,
No.
try to take
No.
over the
And they
interstate.
can't go up the extent of Bender's Ferry as they once were, and or down to Davidson County for at least 3 years.
They got relatively small little parcels from what they started with, right?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
They had big hunks.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
They initially were going kind of down to here and up, and then up Bender's Ferry, and they.
All the way out.
significantly down.
All the
Can,
way
can, can you tell me why they did that? It looked like they were throwing darts at the board and all of a sudden they pulled them out.
No, no, sir, I really can't. I know that one of their councilmen.
Really?
One of their councilmen, brought up the possibility of modifying the growth boundary and got a vote through the, mayor and alderman or mayor and councilman and or county commission or city commission at Mount Juliet and, got them to request reconvention of the growth coordinating committee, and from there,
the way it went.
that's, once it's requested, the county mayor is obligated to reconvene the committee. And the committee's made up of members from each municipality in the county and the largest utility district and several citizen members, et cetera, et cetera. And we also have public meetings about.
Other discussion? Madam
So what
Committee,
you're telling me, I can't request they get back on that side of the road?
Nope,
That's
no,
all I want to know.
not
You-
today.
I think you can request it, but everything go back to square
Well,
one, zero, start
And I
over.
would keep in mind, that would entail a de-annexation at this point too, because everything you see in purple right here, except for the dark purple, they've already annexed everything fronting on Lebanon Road all the way to Davis County line, with the exception of the Herschel Living Point, and I don't think they've annexed that yet. Or
As long as them
they annex
people's
back.
like,
they're
as long as them
close
folks
to
are living, that
McCluskey.
won't happen.
Yeah,
Herschel Ligon, that's on the right side. if you're going
Ligon's
to
on
Davidson.
that side, yeah.
Ligon is the only property between downtown Mount Juliet off 70 and the county line that's not in the city limits of Mount Juliet. That would be, I know Herschel's and maybe Max, but Mac and
And,
Russell.
Yeah.
across the
Which
road.
is the same thing.
Yeah, that brother-in-laws, yeah. Did you have something? Did you say something, Tom?
Not anything matter.
Further discussion? Will of the committee?
For the public's benefit,
Make a
we've got
motion
copies
to
of this
approve
in our
this map.
I'll second.
We got a motion and we got a second, and Tom, you were saying something, you wanna finish with?
For the benefit of the public, since it's being recorded, we do have copies. We can produce a copy of this for anybody who wants to see it, or you'll get a copy in the county planning office in the basement.
Can you furnish us with a copy?
I can send you a PDF.
Yeah,
Easier.
that'd be good, that'd be good. Have a motion to second discussion, all in favor say aye.
I'm gonna discuss that. Hold on. So I can go on record saying I want all that purple back on that other side.
Good luck with that.
I can just say, I don't
Okay.
get over there. I'm just messing with you, no, we're good.
Let the record show that, one of the commissioners is not
I do
in
not
agreement.
want Mount Juliet in my road, period. It's gonna throw that out.
Quote that in the minutes, if you would, please.
Per Kevin Costly.
Per Kevin
Yeah.
Costner.
C O S T L E Y.
City limits.
Now that we have call for the question to the vote, all in favor say aye.
Ask Lynn, Lynn Lang.
All opposed, say nay.
Yeah, I'm good. I just don't, I'm just trying to push them on back.
Is that a yea or nay?
That's a yay.
What other business we have come for the committee
I
tonight?
don't have any today, it's on the agenda anyways.
Any member of the committee have anything to bring up?
So that's done, that means you can do a land use plan, right?
For informational purposes, once this is done, I
Yes.
do hope to get back on the land use plan
Yes.
in earnest. And,
Yes.
We are in the middle of a FEMA 5-year, audit cycle that is hopefully gonna be, we're gonna have the primary interview on August 29th. So, that's that.
The day before our meeting.
That's what you said, third.
Any other business?
Nope.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion adjourned, we stand adjourned.